I am not late. It is literally 7:55. I thought it was going to be late because I was heating up this food because I've got some food with me because this next hour, 2 hours we spend together is about eating, relaxing, and enjoying the day. I thought it was going to be late. It's 7:56. I came in at 7:55 in probably like 45 seconds. So I made it on time. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? What is up? We are here. Palantir. What an amazing day. This is one of the best days we've had as investors in a very long time. And look, I hope you guys got some food. Before we get into anything, what are you eating and drinking in the chat? I have with me some ice and some ginger ale. So that's the first thing we're going to do, okay? We're going to do some ice and ginger ale. We're going to do some ASMR of the ginger ale flowing into the ice because this is one of those hours where this is one of those days we deserve it, okay? We deserve it as shareholders. This is one of those days where we deserve to just sit back and take a look at how this happened. Okay? This is one of those days. Bro, I need more shares. W2F. Michael, I feel like every single, and I'm going to talk about this, every single Palantir shareholder today, this is all we were thinking about. Bro, I need more shares. And for someone who's been, doubling down in the 7s and 8s for a while, I did not double down as much as I needed to do. After that, we've got the greatest American food of all time, ladies and gentlemen, bagel bites. Know what I'm talking about? The bites of the bagels. These things aren't even real. They're from Costco. For those that are international, Costco is basically like Walmart on steroids. It's like wholesale Walmart, and Walmart is just like a retail store. Costco is similar to BJ's. I don't know anything about BJ's at all. I really know nothing about BJ's, if you get my drift, but Costco is similar to BJ's, even though I think Costco is way better than BJ's. So we got some bagel bites and we got some ginger ale, okay? And that's what we're doing tonight as we get into the next couple of hours of talking on what's going with Palantir. All right, let me get into the chat and see everybody here. Aaron, what's up? Albreo, what's up? Bot 101, what's up? Timothy, Isaiah. Anyone here waiting for SoFi stock to keep going up? SoFi had a good day too. It didn't have like a crazy day, but it wasn't a horrible day. Aaron, Adam, Andrew, Hauling America, thank you all for being here. Showcat, what's up? Did your mom make that for you? Wow. That's a little accurate. No, I can put it in the microwave, my guy. I'm not that bad. Kelly, hello. Kelly, I'm enjoying ginger ale today. I can enjoy a sugary drink today. Okay, I can enjoy a sugary drink on the day that my biggest portfolio investment is up 15 motherfucking %, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you know what's kind of awkward? I was going to tell the story on Finance Junkies, but there's a guy downstairs who's like, my parents apparently today, they're getting a consultation for solar. They didn't tell me they were getting solar. They're like, yeah, this guy's coming to tell us about solar, right? So he comes in and I'm about to go make the bagel bites. And then I talked to him. I was like, I just have one question. He was like, what? I was like, so the micro inverters you use under the solar panels, are those from Enphase? And he's like, no, fuck Enphase. He's like, SolarEdge is way better. Enphase has all these issues. And I was like, can I just record you to send to one of my friends called Vitaly? Because I think he might appreciate you saying that. So it'll be fun. Gentry Brown says, is this a clickbait title or is this emergency meeting? It's an emergency meeting because Palantir has broken 52-week highs, and that's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of hours. But it's just a chill session for all of us to chill, relax, and kind of discuss what went on today. I think today was a pretty crazy emotional roller coaster for those who have held the stock for a year, 2 years now. You've got people like Andrej in the chat that have held it since DPO or held it since 2021 and have 6 figures inside the stock. Have seen the stock go down to $6 and have kept loading up. And you've got people who have recently discovered the stock over the past couple of months that have loaded up heavily in the 7 and 8s. So I think this is a meeting for all shareholders to just kind of come together and see what's going on with Palantir. All right, so this is what we're doing. Let me just tweet out that I'm live. In the chat, please say what you're eating. Live, bring some food with you, and let's discuss Palantir's day. Again, I have these bagel bites, which are okay. We're gonna get through a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff planned. Twitter, again, if you're not on Twitter, you got to get on Twitter for the Palantir community. There are so many tweets I want to pull up. There's, so many people did so many different things. There's a little controversy. Some people sold out of Palantir. Blah, 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 blah. There's so much stuff to talk about. So we're gonna get through all of that today. But before we get there, it's 8 p.m. officially, and I'm going to check my email because one of the biggest things we need to know, and let's see how much better this day can get, is how much did Ark buy of Palantir? I'm guessing she bought something. That's probably going to explain a lot of the buy side pressure on the stock. And so I'm updating my email. We should get this email in like 30 seconds. Let's see if Ark Invest bought any stock. If Ark didn't buy any Palantir today, and the Palantir still went up as much as it did, that's really good news. That means other institutional investors across the world decided to end up buy more Palantir. We ended at 11.96. That's where we ended. Let me pull up the stock. We ended at 11.96. Man, we ended close to $12 freaking dollars. Like, that is insane to me. And I know, like, some people, and my cost average is still 15, right? So I'm still in the red. But guys, this was at $7 May 5th. Now it's 11.96 May 18th in 13 days. Year to date, the stock is up 83%. And I know it was down, but look at this. January 30 was 639. None of us were thinking how much more we can double down. And that is the biggest issue. And I want to talk about that. I definitely wasn't thinking I should be doubling down more. But, you know, we probably should have, given what we were seeing. Okay, I didn't get the email yet. Did anyone get the Ark email? I did not get the Ark email yet. I did not get Palantir to 0. AAP is trash. Matt actually works for a company that uses Palantir, so he got a demo of AIP today. Matt, let us know what you think. Well, tomorrow, Palantir Weekly, you're going to tell us about it, so that's going to be exciting to see what you thought of it, if you can give us any information. I didn't get the email. They usually... Oh, did I get it? No, this is from 2 days ago. I didn't get it yet. Ark should be sending it soon. Let's see. I mean, look, if Ark didn't buy Palantir and we rallied the way we did, that's exciting. That's very, very, very exciting. Salmon, coffee, and nicotine. So my dad had a liquor store growing up, and when I was there sitting watching people buy stuff, it was always Jack Daniels, some Newport Lights, and some lottery tickets. So I can relate a little bit. Grilled sandwich and a protein shake, not bad. Dad's oatmeal cookies. That's nice. I love it. Cashews and nuts. I'm used to nuts. Makes sense. Okay, not bad. Or if Chicken was such a great trader, he would have bought the bounce off 9. Well, you know, I mean, Chicken Genius. The dude made $100,000. I mean, like, yeah, maybe he would have made a little bit more, but dude made $100,000. Like, $100,000 is not bad. He's not like, he doesn't care that much about Palantir. He's in it for the trade, and you know, that's what he does. All right, there we go. Ark Innovation. They bought 208,502 shares of Palantir and RKK, 33,716 shares in Ark W, and 44,496 shares in Ark F. And they sold more of Shopify because, of course, they did. There we go. That's what it looks like. I'm about to tweet it right now. So that was it's not as much as I thought it would be. It is a decent amount of buying pressure, but it is not like a crazy amount. So I don't know if this was enough to move it up 15%. I do not think that was the case. I think what's happening is these analysts are really starting to recognize what's going on. Price targets are going to increase now that we're close to $12, and that leads to a snowball effect. However, I am bearish on the short term. I do not think this rally is as sustainable as we think it is. Now, I said that at $10.30, and I was wrong. I might be wrong again. But I do think we might see a healthy pullback to $9, and I think that would be incredibly healthy. That would not be something to get mad about, given what we're seeing right now. $500,000, not that much. Yeah, just not that much. All right, so let's tweet this out right now, and then we're going to go through Twitter. I think this is going to be fun today to go through all the Twitter. I was thinking of, like, should we start a segment where we just, like, go through the tweets of the day on Palantir? Because there's a lot of them. Obviously, we can't do this every night because, like, there's not always enough news and stuff. But on days like this, man, this is the day you want to go through. You want to go through some of these tweets because they're really good. Okay, so let's do breaking. Kathy Wood, Ark has purchased an additional, let's do some math, 208,502 plus 33716. I'm doing this all in my head, by the way. Plus 44,496, 286,714. Literally all of that done within milliseconds in my head. Because yeah, like sometimes you just got it like that. 286,714 shares of Palantir. This comes after a 4.3 million share purchase last week and 1.2 million share purchase yesterday. Okay, let's tweet that out. Boom, that's there. Amit, you better quadruple check your math. Well, I was using a calculator, so it was kind of easy. I didn't actually do that in my head. All right. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to take a bite of the food. Everyone should take a bite of their food. We got the bagel bites. There we go. Eating the bagel bites. Volume was something crazy like 150 million shares. Wow. Yeah, that can't all be retail. There's no way. That's all retail. No way. Oh, crap. We have 353 people here. We got to ring the bell for 300. Thank you, 300 people here joining me. Finance Junkies is happening. Yep. So after we're done with this, make sure you don't have any plans for 10 p.m. because we got Finance Junkies where we're discussing all of this stuff and even more a little bit later today. By the way, TFC also up nicely today as well for those who own that stock. So let's get into it. Let's go into Twitter. Let's see what's going on in Twitter. First, I'm going to go through my tweets and just like, I wanted to live respond to a bunch of people that tweeted stuff. Overall, the way the day started, right, was with the morning open. And let me show you what happened in the morning open. Okay, so this was at 9:50 in the morning. This is what was going on. All right. So this is what happened if you missed it in the morning open. Woo! Oh, hold on? I tweeted at 11. Oh yeah. This is what happened right when we got to 11. Okay, this is what happened. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that there's a different video too. Okay. Is it playing? Twitter? Elon? Yes. No, let me refresh it. Sorry about that. Let me play it again. I forgot I tweeted 2 videos, so I was confused which video I was playing. But this is so this is what happened once it hit 11, and this is kind of how we reacted. Woo! $11, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, this means a lot, man. We were stuck in 7 and 8 for at least a year. We touched 9 a little bit on the last earnings, and then it came right back down to 7 and 8. Now at $11.02, up 7.4% on the day. Congratulations to shareholders for either holding through and getting some momentum back, or for those that loaded up massively and your cost basis is now in the $7 or $8 range. You're doing phenomenally well on this stock at this moment. So, man. Look at that. It is awesome. It is awesome. And this is people asking how many shares I have. $3,015.30 cost average. This is how we got to 11. Okay. Because people don't remember that to get a stock to 11, you have to buy the stock when it's at $10.98. There has to be buying pressure. Okay. So, I mean, a lot of people didn't realize how the stock got to 11. This is how it got to 11. Close. All right. I'm going to buy 1 share. Let me buy 1 share. Let's see if that does the job. This was at 9:45 this morning. This had to be done. Let's do it. Let's buy 1 share. Let's see if that gets the job done. So we go. Here we go. You guys see my screen? Boom. Swipe up. We got 1 share. Does that do it? Does that do it? And then look what happens when I buy that 1 share. If that hit 11 on that one, we're at 10.99. Come on, bro. Give me that. Give me that moment. That clip would do so well. Okay, that clip would have done way more better if it hit 11. It hit 10.99, and then like 3 minutes later, it hits 11. I'm like, damn, if I just waited those 3 minutes. But that was pretty cool, right? Okay, so we have that. Then let's go a little bit more and see what happened today, right? So this is what happens. Palantir's up 5% to 1077. I was like, okay, that's crazy. Then I tweet 11. I'm like, I didn't know we were going to get 11, but we get 11. Then at 11, this person follows me, Indra Joshi. She is the Health Research and AI Strategy Director at Palantir Technologies. This was a pretty cool deal. I was just like very surprised about that. She used to work for AI at the NHS, and then Palantir recruited her, which is why Palantir is going to get this NHS deal. It's like not even a question if it's going to happen. So that was pretty cool that she followed me. I don't know how she found me. Maybe I tweeted something about Palantir she enjoyed, but we got her to follow me. Wendy Williams, which is one of the Palantir government directors, also liked one of the tweets today that I posted. So it was pretty cool. So then at 11:11, I was like, all right, we went 11:11, make a wish. We went from 7-11, so free slushies. I thought of a joke. I tweeted the joke, and 106 people liked the joke, right? So I was like, okay, this is really cool. Then we get to 11:30, and we're up officially 10% on the day. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What is going on? I did follow her back. For everyone asking, I followed her back. And I was like, this is weird. Like 10%, we just had 8% yesterday. Why are we getting 10% today? So I was like, how much is Ark buying? It seemed like Ark was buying a lot. Then we get to 11:05, and I'm like, 11:50. This is also very interesting. 11:50. Then I published this video. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then we got after hours 11:80, right? Up 15%. And I was just astonished. I mean, like I was working a lot throughout the day. So like I didn't get to keep checking it, but Tristan, my videographer, was with me all day, and he just kept telling me like, yo, it's 11:50, 11:70. And I was like, are you serious, bro? Like, are we like, I remember I went to take a piss, and then I finally like took my phone for a second, and it was at 11:80. And I'm like, yo, Tristan, it was 11:79. I was like, like this is insane. And then Truist also went up. Then I actually went to a quick check, and I made the 7-Eleven joke. I wasn't actually at 7-Eleven. That's why it doesn't look like 7-Eleven. But then after hours, look at this, 6 cents from 12, and we ended at 11.96. And so that was the really just unbelievably interesting thing that happened today. I mean, I did not expect us to get there. Let's go to Sachin and his Twitter tweets, because he was following it from the options perspective. Harry Wild, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Amid is pumping Palantir. Yep, my morning stream of those 450 people is how we got to $11. So Sachin was live tweeting it with me, right? And he was tweeting the charts, not using Robinhood, because he's like a professional adult who knows how to trade stocks. And so he tweets it when he gets to 11. And then he's also tweeting it when we get to 11:05, right? He says, where are the diamond hands coming on FinTwit? I love that. All we need is Jim Cramer to come on Mad Money and tell Palantir shareholders. By the way, there's a Jim Cramer clip we got to talk about. Apparently, Jacobs Engineering, one of the companies that partnered with Palantir to do like water infrastructure, because Palantir does like fucking everything on the planet, went on, and Jim Cramer had to confront him, and he tried to talk some shit about Palantir, and the Jacob guy like shut that down. So we got to react to that, but that was insane. And then we got to 1163, 12 months high. And that was just like, wow, breaking the 12 months high today was really incredible to see that. And seeing that was, it was just really cool to end up seeing what we had there. So that was a lot of stuff. We got a bunch of people tweeting Kathy's stuff right now. That's what we're seeing on Twitter. And it was just a lot of crazy stuff that was happening. Let me go to Arnie's tweets. So this was a little bit of the controversy that happened today. Okay. This was a little bit of the controversy. Now, Arnie is one of those dudes in the Palantir community. Use stock talk, please. 52-week high. Bro, I kept saying 52-year high. Throughout the day, I was like, I have to keep correcting. I was like, it's not a 52-year high. We're not in 52 years. We're 52 weeks. But Arnie today did something a little controversial that got people upset, which really, I don't know why people were upset. So Arnie had 80% of his position in Palantir. Okay, if you guys don't know Arnie, absolutely should follow him. One of like the pillars, I believe, of the Palantir community. He reduced his positioning from 80% to just 50% of his portfolio. And the tweets he was getting in response for him to do it, he said, FOMO, thanks, but no thanks, which I agree with. I think a lot of people are FOMOing today. And maybe those people are institutions. It's like, oh, well, stupid institutions are FOMOing or whatever. It helps the stock. But, individual retail investors who've been in the stock for a while should know a little bit like, look, this is probably not the time to go balls deep at 52-week highs, right? So people are getting mad at him for getting below 50% or for getting below 80%. And it was very weird, right? Some like this person says unfollow. It's just like, what? Going to 20 next month, you'll regret selling. He's like, I think I would hardly regret having still half of my portfolio in it, right? And so it just didn't make a lot of sense for people to get upset. And my response to this is like, look, at the end of the day, you have your own portfolio. Everyone has to do their own stuff, right? If you have other positions, you've got to be able to go in and out of those positions. So if you had to sell today, or if you had to chop some off the top at 52-week highs, might not be the worst idea. Might not be the worst idea at all. It's his money. He can do whatever he wants to. Yeah. And again, the weird part is like Arnie is one of the best guys in the Palantir community. So to be mad at Arnie for doing it, it's like, it's Arnie. It's like, first of all, you should be mad at nobody. I don't care who you are. I'm not mad at Chicken, right, for selling. Like he made $100,000. Awesome. Happy for him. But to get upset at someone who really does a lot of work for the community is like, it was a little weird. So I think that didn't make that much sense. While all technicals say oversold, it has made 6-month and 12-month highs in a single day. That will attract slim followers. The strength was unusual. I'm not selling any covered calls. I know some people that got burned on their covered calls. And, there's a philosophy that you don't want to do covered calls on tech stocks. Now, it's not a widely adopted philosophy, but I've heard some people saying like, look, tech stocks can go vertical, especially if you're doing covered calls in your earnings. It's hard because, again, tech stocks, they can go vertical, right? And they can go up and you can get burned on those. So if the price goes above the strike price of your covered call, it's not the best thing for you. So all the technicals do say it's oversold. I mean, if we just look at the RSI is called the Relative Strength Index. Now, what is the Relative Strength Index? To be honest, I don't fucking know, but it is an index that measures the relative strength, if I had to guess. Okay. And if it's above 70, it's not good. If it's like above 60, it's more oversold-ish. So if we go to Palantir and we look at the RSI, so the RSI is 46 on the 1 minute. Let's go to the 1 day. Yeah, it's at 79. Okay. So if it's over 70, that's why there's a line there at the 70. If it's under 30, it's over sold, correct? If it's above 70, it's overbought. And so that means you can expect it to come down. Now, granted, maybe this doesn't matter because institutions are willing to pay a premium. Maybe there's a lot of FOMO. Maybe there's a lot more investors. Maybe ARK is really setting up a lot of interest in this company, and that's why people are coming back. By the way, there's a Bloomberg reporter who followed me today on Twitter. And I wanted to tweet at her. I was like, yo, if you guys need a segment on Palantir, because none of those analysts you actually have on Bloomberg know what the fuck they're talking about, I'm here. I'm available. I would love to talk about Palantir. So that was pretty cool. And let's see if we can get a segment on network television one day. But look, Palantir at 1197, one could argue it's going to pull back. But what if it doesn't? What if it just keeps going up? And that's why it's hard to sell. That's why it's hard to time. That's why you enjoy the fucking ride. You just enjoy it. You lay back. You're like, look, I bought my shares. My shares are here. So I'm going to enjoy what's going on. We're going to see what happens. And it's just going to be a fun little ride. And we'll keep going from there. So, that's the most important thing. RSI is not an indicator that can be used by itself. I agree. It's not. So take my technical analysis with a grain of salt. But Amit opened the weekly chart. Okay, hold on. Let me open the weekly. Oh, the RSI is 66 on the weekly. Well, it's still a little high, but that is. See, I really don't know what's the difference between the weekly and the daily. So if someone in the chat can explain to me, like I understand the difference, but I don't understand the difference in the context of RSI, why it matters or doesn't matter. And honestly, it might not matter at all in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, if you know what the real difference is, let me know. Sachin says RSI is a momentum oscillator that measures the speed and change of price movements. The RSI oscillates between 0 and 100. Traditionally, the RSI is considered overbought when above 70 and oversold when below 30. Okay, makes sense. Soon it will be in a Netflix documentary. Yeah, so I mean, it's important. Are you supposed to be live in Twitter right now? I'm not. I should do that, but I forget to do Twitter's. Elon needs to hook up Twitter Spaces with the computer because then I would go live on Twitter, but I just forget about Twitter Spaces. So yeah, no, we're not live on Twitter Spaces right now. I'm not going to set it up right now, but maybe next time we'll go live on Twitter as well. So, that is where we're at, what we're seeing with Palantir. Now, there's some other tweets I wanted to show you guys today. Let me go to the Palantir daily account. So I have this other account that we do Palantir tweets from. The home feed is a little bit more Palantir populated. So let's go there. So we got the Kathy stuff. Let me retweet this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So we got Palantir shareholders this morning. We got Chad. Chad is another great guy inside of the Palantir community. And look, we felt pretty good. Can't even say. You've got some drama in the community, some people blocking other people. I'm not going to speak on this. Let's just say I'm also blocked by some of those people. So having said that, moving on. In terms of Palantir, this thing has not even begun breaks. So if you guys don't follow Grogu thinks the stock is going to be like 250. Grogu's like all in on Palantir. I actually did a podcast with him that I will link in the show notes. That is on my startup, aldia.io. You can check that out. In fact, I'm going to put the link in the description. You should listen to it tonight, or I'm going to put it in the chat. He was all in on Tesla, and eventually he took all of his gains from Tesla and put it into Palantir, right? And so as a result of that, he's very deep into Palantir. He cares a lot about Palantir. So I mean, he's looking at the technical charts and he's like, bro, like 1045, 1174, it doesn't even matter. This shit's going to the moon. And so you've got people like him. You've got Sachin's article talking about AIP. 1.2 million shares. That was yesterday. We got Andrew, my guy, Trade with Scale, also great technical analysis. So let's see what he says. Palantir closed at 1174, up 14% today. Volume surged up 328% from the average. Wow. Also, that 1030 resistance got absolutely smacked. There is not a lot of trading between 13 and 20, so anything can happen at these prices. Hopefully, we can continue upwards, but it's never a bad idea to take some profits. I have not sold, though. In this current economic environment, we are definitely in the upper band of our fair value range. The NASDAQ, by the way, is at I believe, 52-week highs. It's at its highest it's been this year, not 52 weeks high, but this year. So 2023 highs at 12,600 something bucks. So NASDAQ is up as well. As interest rates and inflation come down over the next 2 years, the fair value of Palantir will go up considerably. Keep in mind that the markets are historically 6 months forward looking. I do believe the company had an inflection point last quarter, and I believe we have entered into a new range of trading for the stock, barring no major economic news. And that's big. If we are in a new trading range for the stock of 9 to 15, 7 to 8s are goodbye. It's over. S&P 500, gap profitability, 7 and 8. We'll see you later. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 8. Did I do that joke right? I don't know. I was doing it in the heat of the moment. But nonetheless, 7 and 8s are gone, right? And that would make me very happy. If we fall back to 9, I wouldn't be upset. I would be a little bit more upset if we fall back to the 850s. I wouldn't actually be upset because I would just buy more shares. But it would be pretty irrational, I feel, to fall back to the 7s and the 8s. Like that really, in my opinion, wouldn't make a lot of sense. And so, we'll see if that happens. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at 26 minutes and 43 seconds. We have hit 500 on the live stream. Thank you all for being here. 500 people. It means a lot to me. And now that there's 500 people here, probably should talk about some of the video I posted today. Amit, can you send the link? I want to share a few things. Yes, Sachin, I just saw it. I'm going to share you the link. So let me get Sachin on. We'll talk to him. And actually, I'll talk a little bit about... So I published a video today. Sachin, I'm sending it to you on Twitter. And the video I published today is about why the Palantir community is at a special moment. Actually, it'd be great to talk about it with Sachin. So let me share it to Sachin. Let's let him do some technical analysis, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that video. The premise of that video was that, Sachin, I just sent you the link. The premise of that video was that this is one of the most unique moments in history to be a Palantir shareholder investor. We got another super chat. Hold on. Let me put this on the chat. Passion Planet, thank you for the $10. You deserve this, homie. Been following since day one. Buy yourself a beer. You deserve it. You stuck to your guns and the runway's cleared. The plane engine lists have started. Our plane engines, get ready for takeoff. I appreciate you, man. And see, that it's not just me. It's all of us that have stayed on this journey. And that's what the video was about today. I got a lot of nice messages from that video. It was a little bit of an emotional video for me because, man, internet communities are hard to come by. And I don't think the gains will matter as much in 2030 as much as the relationships and friendships that we all cultivate as being on this journey. And I know I sound a little corny right now, but there's 500 people live on May 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And all of us are here celebrating the fact that Palantir is up to $11. Do we really care that much that Palantir is at $11, $12? No, we care that we believe in this company so deeply, and we were here in the trenches, and we're finally seeing some of the light, and we believe we're seeing some of the light for the right reasons. And there's all these narratives we're fighting back against, and it's a journey, and it's a fun thing that very few people in their life ever get to cultivate around in terms of generating meaning and purpose and fulfillment in their life. Meaning, purpose, and fulfillment does not come from money. It comes from the process of chasing something, whether that's a dream or whether that's a stock price, a community, a narrative, a mission, a vision, whatever that is. And so I can only imagine how Karp and Sham and Peter Thiel and all those guys are going to feel eventually as the company becomes what it can become. But all of us as shareholders that are in the thick of it, it's really fun just to be here and be part of it. The other thing I was saying in that video is that it's not easy to develop a community. And so the fact that we have people as smart as the man I'm about to bring up right now, who is a passionate advocate of the community, it's really cool to have people like that in the community. Sachin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I think last night was good. I made a short trade on Sophie. What
was the trade on Sophie? Can you disclose?
Yeah, I mean, I made actually 2 trades this week. One trade I actually that was kind of an arbitrage position I had. Was actually the stock was 464, and that particular time I think the covered calls at 4.5 was at 9 cents or something. I realized that if I buy and sell the covered calls at 4.9, I mean, it's difficult to breach 4.9 by the end of this week. So I bought like around 10,000 shares that day. I mean, yes, so that's an arbitrage position. It will be called, but I'll make 9 cents on that much. And yesterday I did a bigger one for longer. I mean, I sold puts, a lot of puts.
On
Okay,
what?
a
On
really
SoFi
large
or Palantir?
on SoFi,
Okay.
and I sold it when it was around 4.97. Then I closed it when it was 5.12. So that was like I think like 12 cents per share I made on the whole lot. So
Right.
it was good. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to test my feeling. I mean, I want to keep my capital free. So I just thought, okay, let me just do it for a day. And because I wasn't looking to enter any new position in Palantir. I mean, my long position is still intact, nothing sold.
So
Okay.
to
So,
remind everybody before you get into the charts, you have your entire U.S. stocks equity portfolio, which is, I believe, 25% of your net worth, is what I think you told me, inside of this one company, Palantir.
that is true. Okay. So this is the portfolio which you remember when you make the first video, I think early last year when you declared I'm going 100% in. So that position is all in and nothing has changed there. I also started an option account, okay, which I trade positions for 2 to 4 weeks, sometime one day. Okay, most of the positions I trade in this account is also Palantir, but by the nature of the account, the positions gets closed within 1 week to 2 week. But
Okay.
the dry powder in this account is also for most of time it's for Palantir only.
Okay. Got it. So, I mean, and I don't know if you've disclosed your average before, but you're not break even yet on Palantir. I think you still have a little bit to go, or are you getting close to break even?
I mean, I need some more to go for break even, but to be fair, it's not my concern. I will be break even on Palantir. It doesn't matter where Palantir go by the end of I think next 3-4 months, because I'm selling a lot of options on Palantir. So if it doesn't move, I will break even from option cost. If it moves, I will break even from the move. So yeah, it will happen.
Got it. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. All right, the charts. Do you want to bring something up, or do you want me to bring something up?
Yeah, I mean, before I show anything, I just want to have everyone understand, because I think it is important, because I saw what happened with Arnie, and I'm actually ashamed that people came after him. Actually, money is something you need to protect first. In stock market, you have to be aggressive and defensive at the same time. If you're not aggressive, you will not make any money. If you're not defensive, you will not save any money. Okay, anybody who has read Jesse Livermore will understand this. Okay, so the question is, this is quite a unique situation. Let me just share my screen, and if you can present it. Okay, the question on everyone's mind is at this particular time is that I mean, what to do? Shall we sell or shall we not? Because to be honest, nobody knows where the stock is going. Okay, on one
Correct.
hand,
Correct.
okay, can you share the screen now? Okay, so on one hand, I mean, you can say that technically all oversold signals are met. Okay, so tendency is if it's oversold too much, we should sell. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is, people will say that Palantir has not been able to save any gains. I mean, over last 2 years, every time the gains come, it drops fast. That is also fair. So there are arguments on that side. Okay, that means Palantir can fall from here, and we don't know. And if there is something in the market related to that selling uncertainty, so yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Then there is another argument is that it has crossed the 6 months and 1 year target. I mean, the high in just a single session. And the session was very unusual. We were already coming off a very strong momentum where it has failed 10.3 twice. Okay. Then there was a specific move in yesterday in after hours. It moved up. It moved up in pre-market. It moved up throughout the day, and then it moved up in after hours. So this hasn't happened for a very long time. Okay, so this kind of a strength to me is unusual. So whether this strength fizzles out, I don't know. Just because it's oversold, I'll be, so guys, please remember, no financial advice here. I'm just sharing my views. That because I haven't seen this kind of a strength for a while. Okay, now thing is, when stocks make a run, they can stay oversold for a very long time. So there are arguments on both sides. Okay, so if somebody feels that there's a lot of money on the table, they want to take some money away, I think by every mean people should take it if they have had a sleepless night because they weren't break even. I mean, Palantir is not the only opportunity in town. Okay, you can think wherever you are, you can have better sleep. However, if you are in a situation where you are finding that Palantir is an opportunity, but I want to risk a very little just in case if this run is going to run for 2-3 weeks, and who knows, it can go to 17, 18 if it is, because we don't know what's the reason behind it. Yesterday there was not enough purchase by Ark also. Okay, so it's 170 million, 172 million shares traded. So what is driving the volume at this point? We all can say our mind, but we don't know, to be honest. We'll only know in hindsight what happened. So is it the AI train? Is it something else? Is it shorts being squeezed? We'll only know in time. So I was looking at the option volumes. Okay. So I was looking at bar chart. So I said that currently it is 11.7, 11.9. Okay, now there are two ways I could play if I want to sell. I'm not selling. Okay, and I'm not advising. See, if I sell my stock at this point at 11.97, okay, but I go but there is a chance that we maybe have a rally of 10 days and I could miss the upside.
Correct.
Okay, so one option I have is that I can go and buy the calls. So I sell at 12 and at same time I buy call at 12. So I'm spending 50 cents. So that means if Palantir retrace back from here, I still keep my gain except 50 cents.
Correct.
Okay. And if Palantir moves up, say 17, 18, I keep all those gains with me because I'm having the calls until June. So it gives you a kind of a small protection while keeping your capital safe while risking only 50 cents. The question here is, you can also do the same with puts also, because if you buy the puts, you pretty much lock up the gains here. The problem here is, and you can anyway do that, the puts at 12 is 0.71. So puts are pricier than call at this particular time. So basically what is happening is that, but puts will give you assured cash protection. That means even if Palantir goes back, you will keep 12.
Right.
So that is the 20 cent extra. So if you go to here and, for example, you sell at 12, you keep all the money with you, you spend 51 cents. So any gain that comes, it's yours. Okay. Put will give you the 12 if it goes down. Okay. You will get the protection of the money at 12. But if it goes up, your 70 cents will be worthless. But you will make money in the move of the stock. So this is a kind of a move you can consider. And of course, like what strike price you have to do. I mean, this is something you need to do it yourself. I'm sharing my mind on this trade. I'm not advising anybody to do it. But that kind of trade can allow you to keep cash, whatever is earned, up to 11.5. And with 50 cents, you can have a view where you can play for the longer game if you're expecting. So, but this is a kind of a timely trade. Okay.
Right.
Do not do it if you do not know options. Okay. Do not think about it if you cannot model your risk reward on this. Okay. And if you do not know this and you cannot do all the modeling, take this opportunity more for learning. Okay. Because these kind of situations will come back in market.
So for the average person who's like, average person comes up to you, they have some money in Palantir, they're like, Sachin, I don't know if I should sell it because $12 seems a little ridiculous right now, or I don't know if I should hold. I mean, your advice to them is it makes more sense not to time it and just to keep going on the ride, whether it goes up and down, because you have literally no idea if it's going to...
I have no idea where it is going. It is going to 7 or it is going to 17. I have no clue.
Right.
Okay. My strategy is not based on where the stock is going. My strategy is always based on what I will do where the stock will go. Okay. So my
What do you mean
point
by, wait,
here is,
explain that. Explain that. Your strategy is not based on where the stock is going. Your strategy is based on what you will do. What do you mean by that?
so for example, in this particular case, say I decide tomorrow to sell at 12. If I sell tomorrow at 12, I mean, I'll probably buy the calls, because my idea is that I'm preserving the cash. If the stock goes down, then I have cash to buy it back. Okay. If a stock goes up, then I already have my cash with me, plus I have the calls running for next 10 days. So in both cases, my losses are limited to 50 cents. Okay, so stock can move up and go. So when if so for example, stock runs, say for example 17, then 50 cents give me $5. That is 1:10 trade. So
Right.
this is a kind of an asymmetric risk for me.
Right.
Okay,
Gotcha.
one of the reason that I do like covered calls, or I do like option buying or selling, is because I don't know. Like for example, yesterday when I bought the SoFi puts, because my understanding is, personally I feel SoFi between 4.5 ranges is pretty defendable now with everything that has happened. Okay, so if you're buying at the end of the day, even if you end up buying a lot of SoFi at below 5, I think I'm comfortable with that. Okay, based on price action, I have not done a lot of deep dive on SoFi like you guys have done. Of course, I have guys in fintech, so I get their feedback on SoFi quite a lot. But so this is the idea, like you need to decide beforehand what you are going to do. When I will sell Palantir, I have made this decision in 21, and then I updated this decision in last August. I haven't made any changes. Once the criteria is met, I'll sell the Palantir. Forever, short term, the rules are all up there.
What is your price target for Palantir that you feel comfortable selling it at? Let's say by 2030. Obviously, if it gets to $100 tomorrow, right, you would sell because that's ridiculous. Yeah. But by 2030, what price is it at? Where is there a range where you're like, I still don't think it hit its potential, or I think it's overvalued around 10 years of at that point holding the company?
See, Palantir is still severely undervalued. Snowflake was touching 60 billion market cap yesterday.
Correct.
Palantir is barely coming to 25. Okay, now if you take the AIP or artificial intelligence game at enterprise, which company is better equipped to provide end-to-end solution? It is definitely Palantir. So at that particular time, like when I say that, of course I know that the growth has been high, and Snow is a very good company. A lot of time I praise them, but when I see the premium difference between these two companies, it's it's stupid in my opinion.
Now, Sachin, let me ask you a question. Okay, Palantir at $20 is a $40 billion market cap. Is there any world in which you can justify the current? Let's say we get to $2.3 billion in revenue by the end of 2023. Could that make sense at all to be a $40 billion market cap and only have $2.3 billion of revenue? Is that, from a SaaS perspective, reasonable, or is that insanely overvalued from a market cap perspective?
See, we have to keep away the hindsight bias and the recent confirmation bias, because suddenly in the 2 years we are coming where everybody is talking about valuation and everything else, and suddenly Correct. Everybody is Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham. See, if you take 20 years and if you take the dot-com bubble, okay, SaaS or software stocks can stay irrational for a long time. Okay. Also, it's easier to ride bubble than to short the bubble, in my opinion. Okay. So for example, say tomorrow Palantir goes to 25. Okay. The question is, what is happening in the broad market then? Okay. Because you also remember, like we discussed it last time, that I am of the opinion that there is a fair chance, the way the AI hurricane is setting up, that we may be entering in a very big bubble, very early stage bubble at this particular point. So think about this, that 6 months down the line, the rates start to cut. Palantir earnings are improving. More companies are coming and saying, that particular time,
we're going to the fucking moon if that happens.
Suddenly what will happen is you were not comfortable buying a company at PS 7. Correct. And now suddenly you are seeing that company at PS at 100, and you will say it's oversold. It's overvalued. Guys, we are not here in this business to sound smart. We are in this business to make money. So you have to make your mind. Okay. I mean, I know a lot of people, those three funny guys who were waiting to buy Palantir at 5. I mean,
No, $3. That was their target. $3.
Yeah.
$3.
So, see, guys, you have to be very clear about this. You can say a lot of things that make you sound smart, but you want to sound smart or you want to make money. Okay. And, like I said, you have to be aggressive and you have to be defensive at the same time. I will judge the situation when I am there. Having said that, if Palantir suddenly make a 50%, 100% move within a week and I don't understand, in that particular situation, my understanding is that I don't know what is going on. Okay. Then I'll probably use the same kind of trade, that sell the Palantir here, but keep the calls open of the similar position until you understand what's happening.
Right.
Okay. But at this particular point, yeah, I mean, see, for example, what happens, like I don't sell here and Palantir goes back. Fine. Palantir has already tested this level. There is already momentum building up.
Correct. Like if it gets back to even $8, your argument is that, we've been there and it could.
I mean, I'll fucking double my position if it goes back to $8 now.
Why? Why would you double your position if it gets to $8?
Because it has already confirmed. See, if you're looking, like I said, the other money I have is based on a technicals and options. So you already have confirmed the momentum. You already have fundamentals on your side. Then it becomes quite a good trade in short term to actually make money over it. See, you need to get the idea. Like we have a defensible range we already tested for a while, which is 7 to 8 for Palantir.
Correct.
Okay, when Palantir was there in that range 7 to 8, the company performance has only improved. The company moat has only improved because of the induction of AIP.
Right.
See, that's one of the problem what I see in investing. And I was helping one of my friend who was setting up a hedge fund to build his portfolio strategy. Is that people try to learn the thumb rules and then they try to fit the thumb rules to every situation. See, there is a portion of finance which is static, then there is a portion of finance which is dynamic, and you both have to judge at the same time. Okay, June to me is a volatile month for two reasons. Irrespective of whatever is happening in debt ceiling discussion, okay, there is a fair chance that we might see tantrums from both parties. Both parties have really some characters that should have never been in the politics at all. So I don't expect it is to go smoothly. It's okay. The second thing is markets are pricing that there will be no rate hike.
Yeah.
And Fed are notorious to fuck you at the most unimagining time. Okay. So at this particular time, Fed is exactly the person who wants to sound smart than who wants to be right. Okay. So if they have been saying a logic that the unemployment has to increase, if those things, they just cannot stop and they might be forced to do one more hike. Okay. You put these two things in mix and then suddenly a couple of people in China or in Saudi make a geopolitical statement. Then suddenly you get a perfect blender of things, right? And suddenly markets could be very volatile.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what I said. I mean, you need to decide that what you are playing against and my focus, okay, in this particular time is first to preserve my capital because we are in a tough time. Okay. And then make money over it. Okay. I mean, like 2021, this is one of the reasons I left my full-time job because I was not able to focus more on investing and trading because of, if you're working 16 hours a day, how would you do that?
So do you ever feel any opportunity cost FOMO with your capital being locked up in? I know you're selling calls and puts and you're making money off of it, but do you ever think like if I had that money, I could put it somewhere else? Or because look, I was going to tweet this today. I actually was going to tag you in this tweet. You going all in on Palantir, I think finally makes sense to me. Not because you have the best average in the world, but because when you said this in February, even at whatever price you bought it at, The point is you had a thesis. And I remember we were on that first podcast. You were telling me the story about George Soros and Stanley Druckenmiller about like, if you like a stock, why don't you go more than 100% in, right? Why don't you double down? And now today I'm kicking myself in the ass. And I'm sure 555 people here are kicking themselves as well. Why the fuck was I not buying this at $7, at $8? It was stuck there for 2 months. Why? Like, I knew the potential of this. Yes, we, gap earnings, AIPs, but like after AIP, it was still at 743. Why was I not doing it? Can you speak a little bit to like the idea of having real conviction? Because even if you got in a little bit earlier than most, you have that conviction that I think all of us were looking for. And I don't think you get that until you get to a certain age, to be honest, because it comes with maturity.
So, what you said is right. And to be fair, it came very late to me. Okay. But let me just tell you like what's my mental setup is. Okay. So, I told you that yesterday I sold SoFi put, made some money. Day before that, I had a similar opportunity to sold Tesla puts. I could have made a similar amount of money, but I waited. The opportunity passed. The Tesla at the money move was quite fast by the time I reacted. So if I go back to that day, I lost the opportunity to make 7-8K within like 2 hours. Okay. So suddenly what will you do? You will hit yourself. And that could have been easy money. Yesterday, that opportunity came somewhere else. I used it. So this is what I learned, that the biggest pain in investing is not losing money. It's losing the opportunity to make the money.
This is what VCs say. So it's not about losing on an investment. It's not investing in the next Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where they kill themselves the most. Right?
So, and all the best investors I know, they are very comfortable missing a trade. They don't beat themselves up. Okay. So if you miss something, you need to understand why you miss it. That is more important than you didn't make any money over it, because market will present opportunity again. Okay. So if you beat yourself, every time if I say, oh, I should have bought at 8.9, I should have sold at 45. Yeah. Man, I'm not God. Okay. There is no way that is going to happen. Okay. So to me, when I went into Palantir, like I said, I see an asymmetric opportunity, minimum downside, maximum upside. Okay, of course, any company can make mistakes, so there's a definite kind of risk. But then I was looking broad market, and the risk was everywhere else. So my point is, if I put my eggs in 20 basket, but all those baskets are in the same truck. Okay, and if the truck goes downhill, everything goes downhill. Everything is correlated.
Right.
Okay, if you remove some of the earnings, all the SaaS stocks are actually correlated to each other up to certain extent. Okay, so I said, let me focus on one company and let me focus, understanding.
But let me ask you this question. Big tech has performed pretty decently year to date. Amazon, Microsoft, all of them.
In terms of stock performance. In terms of stock performance. In terms of actual performance.
Right. So this is the fun part, right? Because you invested in Palantir because you believe that big tech is eventually going to get disrupted. These companies are not going to be the same that they were in 2010. But the opportunity cost from a stock performance perspective has been in Amazon and Meta, not really in Palantir. How do you reconcile that as an investor, that you could have bought Meta at 88 versus Palantir and still invested in Palantir a little bit later?
See, it's very simple. I invested in Palantir because I believe it is 10 today. It could be 100 in 10 years. Okay, if I invest in Amazon today, I don't expect Amazon to be 10x from here. So it's very simple, the time frame you have. Okay, if somebody believes that Amazon can be 20x and Palantir can only be 5x in 10 years, they should be in Amazon, they should not be in Palantir. So time frame is important. Okay, the long-term investing is all about time frame, what you are looking at. Okay, short-term investing is a bit different thing. But in this particular case, that's the thing in the short term also, because short term there are so many things happening, you cannot capture all the moves also. You can only capture 2-3, if you're very lucky, in a week, and 5-6 a month. That's it. But if you capture a move in short term like that and you are comfortable with that, you can still make enough money to meet your expenses, maybe even make more than that. So you need to figure it out what kind of investor you are, and what kind of mistakes you have made in past is very important. Okay, if you don't learn from your mistakes, so in this particular case, see, I have thought this for years, that what could be a scenario when I would go 100% all in on one position.
So
And
you've
I've
been
thought
dreaming
it,
of kind of doing this.
and I have ran that scenario several times. And I also ran that scenario several times in mind, that I go into the situation and things could be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Why I hold it, why I sell it at loss. So I mean, these decisions are taken long before today. So I'm just trying to execute what I have planned, and whatever the markers are, nothing has changed at this particular point.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like when I dream about a girl that I want to spend the rest of my life with, and it's like kind of like going all in on that girl, right? So you're kind of like going all in on the stock. That didn't land anyway. So no, it's super interesting, right? And that's why I wanted to ask you about conviction, because I'm one of the biggest Palantir bulls, right? You know me on social media, and even I was not loading up as much as I was in 7 and 8. I was buying fucking N phase because I was like, well, maybe I should diversify a little bit into like, and I'm just like, it's something, a lesson I want to learn from you at this age, because if you believe, you believe. And if you get burned on what you believe, then it's a question of why you came to that belief and what was wrong with your research, investment process, due diligence. And that's okay, because then you learn from that. But
See,
if you miss out on the upside because you're in fucking a solar stock when you don't even believe
I think
in it much.
you have to be very clear that why you are making money in a particular stock. A lot of time you make money in a stock because market is moving up, sector is moving up, and we think we are the genius who is making. We are not making money because, I mean, most of the time stock market goes up then down. So technically, a lot of time you make money not because of your own skill. So it is very important. When we talk about going all in, because I knew that particular time that the stock will move in the same direction where the market will move. Okay. Then in terms of a sector, I know that sector is a hot, so a lot of stocks in this sector will go up. Then I look at the company, and then I start making company asset. In terms of company, the peer comparison, I think this is quite undervalued. So when you put those three things together, and whether it works or not, only time will tell. Whether somebody should do it or not. Until today, it is very controversial that a lot of people went Tesla all in. Okay, but how do you manage your risk is more important. I didn't go Tesla all in.
Do you think, and shout out to 600 people being here as well. Thank you, 600 people, for joining us on this day. Pretty big for Palantir. Do you think Palantir has, the potential to be like a Tesla? Not in terms of return, but just in terms of one of those companies. I know we did an interview back in 2022, and you told me when you talk to MBAs, you think they are misunderstanding Palantir the same way they're misunderstanding Tesla. Do you still believe that there's just a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to Palantir and Tesla at the same time?
So there is a lot of misunderstanding in terms of Palantir, both by Wall Street, both by enterprise. Do I see Palantir as a Tesla? No, I don't see Palantir as a Tesla. Okay, to me, Tesla is a far bigger story than Palantir as of today. Okay, in terms of community engagement, I mean, yes, Palantir is analogous to Tesla, like where Tesla was 6 and 8 years ago. See, you need to remember, Tesla created an industry. Okay, I mean, what you do in Tesla is a real engineering. You need to build things by hand. Okay, what Palantir is doing, Palantir is expanding on something that already existed in dimensions that never existed before. Okay, so Palantir has certain advantage in terms of, we talk about in software, the expand, if you want to sell more, the marginal cost is very limited. It's almost zero. And Alex Karp said it also several particular time. Tesla, if you want to build a new Tesla, yeah, the marginal cost is not zero. Okay, you need to have the capacity and all. So that is the different part. So has Palantir exploited those dimensions to sell everything at this particular point? No. So I mean, it is one of my favorite stock. It is all of my public equity position in my US long-term account. A company I believed in mission. I mean, I think they have a very strong moat. Okay, there is no company like that in enterprise. But are they Tesla? No, they are not Tesla, in my opinion. And in a way, it is good also. Okay, because I mean, they can remain under radar for a long time. Where I see Palantir, if you ask me, in terms of like the big tech that exists today, I see it as a company that could be a CRM one day.
Salesforce.
Yeah, I mean, see, we also need to remember it's a B2B company. It's not a B2C company. Okay, so there are. I mean, that's what I said. That this is what we do a lot of time mistake in finances. We make these thumb rules and then we force these thumb rules on something. You need to find what is unique about a company. And yeah, I mean, this is really a story on its own. It may not be Tesla's story, but it will be a good story in my opinion.
Okay, last two questions I have for you. Do you think the AI buzz bubble that you were referencing earlier is a little bit of the reason we're seeing this upward momentum on the stock? Like, is that why we're getting some buying pressure because AI is becoming like crypto was in 2021?
No, I don't think so. At least at this point, I don't think that the move in Palantir is because of AI thing. Because the move yesterday was, I mean, this for the move for last 2 3 days. I mean, it's not violent move. It's a very consistent move. If you see, I don't know how many of you do it, but when I sit in front of computer, I mean, I always have the volume flow in front of me. That how it's a ticker that keep on going. I mean, how the orders are flowing through the market. When you are in a bubble kind of a move, the moves are very violent. I mean, see what happens with the AI ticker.
Yeah, it was up today as well.
So my view at this particular point is it's more institutional buying. Okay, I do not expect this is because retail buying, but I do not expect at this particular point because there is no consensus in the market at this time that what stocks are AI stocks.
Yeah,
Everybody has their own view.
outside of Google and Microsoft.
Yeah. So if this is an AI stock mania in Palantir, I mean Palantir will be 20 by the end of this month. So I don't think we are there yet. I mean, I don't think it is. People don't understand Palantir. How will they understand Palantir AI mode?
That is fair.
So
That is very fair.
okay, so I mean, and a lot of people even don't know. I mean, AI stock has a ticker which is probably the best thing they have done in the history of the company.
Do you think Kathy buying is influencing other institutions, given your experience, give a shit about Kathy and what she buys?
See, in a way,
You
yes.
just gave me an Elon pause.
In a way, yes. See, no, I don't know. I have shared this with you or not, but 90% people who make money, they don't know how to make money. They just do one thing. They just follow someone. Okay.
Yeah, it's me with
So,
Chris, to be honest. So
okay, so a lot of people see, okay, Kathy made a lot of money. She made these bets, and now she's making new bets. So they just go, but that will not drive this kind of volume. But there are people who will definitely be investing. Okay, I mean, see, Wall Street and fund industries are in the industry of copycats. Everybody is not Peter Druckenmiller or everybody is not at Thor. A lot of people just, that's why we say like 90% funds are basically just a slight mix of S&P. Okay, so there is a lot of copycat behavior on the street. So there must be something out there. But my understanding is this kind of move happens when large institutions buy.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, this can't be retail driven to be up 15% in a day, right? There's just no way.
No, it cannot be. You need to see the order size. No? I mean, that's what I said. When you have the volume flow, you see how many big orders are flowing.
Right.
And how many big orders are flowing in pre-market and after hours. So that gives you an indication that institutions are active.
Okay, last question for you, Sachin. I made a video today talking about the Palantir community and kind of like the fact that it's small right now. Everyone kind of knows people. I mean, people know you, people know me, you know other people in the community. I guess from a personal level, what has this journey been like over the past year? Because I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, you've had a public journey investing in a ticker exclusively and been sharing that journey through podcasts and your LinkedIn and newsletters and tweets. You've developed a bit of a personal brand. People know you on LinkedIn because of Palantir. You know the Palantir people. You met them in person. Like, has the journey meant something a little bit more to you than the stock itself in terms of just the fulfillment from the relationships you're getting, or are you solely concerned about the gains you're going to make from the company?
No, I think journey is more important here, to be honest. I mean, you can make money on a lot of stocks. I mean, I'm making money in SpaceX, but I mean, SpaceX community as of today is non-existent. Sometimes people on Tesla community, but that doesn't exist as of today. See, there are three key learnings I have. First, the journey is very humbling. Okay, it allowed me to introspect some of my own flaws in investing. Okay,
Facts.
so I mean, from that part, it's very humbling. Okay, looking back, I could have done a lot of different things in Palantir. The journey is fulfilling in a way because I met so many people and learned. I mean, I met Code Strap, um, and we had a call. I mean, which was outside our public domain,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned a lot of things. And once you take position, you start discussing it. People have different opinion about it. I met several CEOs of different companies. I asked their opinion about Palantir. What do they think? So in a way, I couldn't have learned those things. And when you learn about one thing from different angles, your overall understanding and depth about the topic increase. So it's very fulfilling from that point of view.
Right.
The third part is, I mean, it's fun. Okay, I have been inactive on social media like forever. Okay, I mean, I was groomed to go into C suits, and the guy, you always clean, you keep your social media clean, and that's how I did it. I mean, there was a point in 2020 where I decided that I don't want to do that. I want to retire early.
Mm.
So I met different people. We have our own fun. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
you met some
amazing.
people in London. You got drinks with some of those people, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have met several of people out there. I mean, like even on within people who work in Palantir, they know I'm active in community, so I get messages from them sometime. So it's a kind of engaging in a way. Okay, I mean, it's and when you see the quality of people on the other side now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have met some of the people in Palantir, and I mean, I felt that, yeah, these are the right people, and they are. I mean, I would like to work with these kind of people. Okay, so that's why it's been fun, fulfilling, and humbling at the same time.
Yeah, I think like at the end of the day, the goal of life is to like have some fun, right? Have some
So
purpose.
I'll
in it.
tell you, I'll give you a the biggest thinking I had. Okay, so you remember, like, I was sitting on a very large gain in Klarna.
Correct. Klarna is a
Okay,
private fintech, like a buy now, pay later company for
I
those who don't
mean,
know.
it was huge, massive, and but I was doing my contracts, my projects, and they are. I mean, I get good money out of it, but then I miscalculated the move in private equity, and Klarna suddenly dropped almost like 85-89% in private
So
equity.
your massive gains dropped by 90% on paper.
Evaporated.
Wow.
Okay. Then at that particular time, I realized that if I would have cashed my position, and if I would have taken that money off the table, and I probably would have invested the money I invest, I probably would have been making 3 times per month than what I was making from my job.
Hmm.
So that particular time, I realized that there is something wrong. I am working. Okay, because if I do a job, I can get a certain salary. Okay, but at the end of the day, the purpose is I'm not looking for any corporate career anymore. Okay, I mean, I like meeting people, I like solving problems. That's a different thing. So that was something. So you need to realize that at what is your trigger point where you're investing is giving you, where you start losing money in your investing because of your job.
Right.
Okay,
Where it's a
I only
trade-off.
realized it after I lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I say, okay, there is something inherently wrong. I need to cancel. After that, I canceled almost 80% of my contracts. Okay, and this particular time, my focus is I have a long-term portfolio. I have a long-term private equity portfolio. I have a short-term options account, and my target is very simple. That from this account, I have to make reasonable money as I would have made from any job.
Right.
As long as I'm getting that, I'm not going back to full-time job. I mean, I can still go back to full-time job if something very interesting comes up, but I'm not actively searching for a job. I mean, I have some contracts and some positions that I work 20-30% times a month. That's it.
And the reason you stayed in that job is because you wanted the security of it, right? You still felt
I
you
mean, I
couldn't.
come from 80s and 90s from India.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you go to good colleges, you get a job, you work your ass off until you're 65, and then you retire. That's my DNA. So
Yeah.
going against your DNA, I mean, I'm early millennials, genials, what you call it.
Mm.
Nobody has ever taught us that you could retire because of investing.
Right.
Okay, so my DNA was different. So taking this decision was against my nature.
Right.
No worries. I hope some of these points help. Thanks
No,
for
they help a lot.
inviting.
This is awesome. Thank you so much, Sachin. I think the technical analysis helped. The psychological explanations helped on what to do with your positions in Palantir. It means a lot. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, man. See you. Take care.
All right. Talk later. Bye-bye. All right. That was great. I'm going to be on for the next 55 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We have Finance Junkies at 10 p.m. So everyone here can just go to the next stream at 10 p.m. if you want to check out Finance Junkies. We'll be talking about a bunch of stuff. But yeah, shout out to Sachin, man. I think the questions about conviction were really important because a lot of people have been texting me today like, yo, do I sell? Like, do I get out of it? And I'm just like, I mean, like, do you believe in Palantir? Like, do you want to be in Palantir? Do you want to take some short-term profit? Like, I don't think there's a wrong answer to any of this, but it's a subjective answer. And having an answer that is conducive to what you think is going to happen is the best way to do it at the end of the day. Of what you feel is going on. Like, do you feel like you want to be here for the next 10 years? Or do you feel like you want to get some short-term money and put it somewhere else? But it depends on, what you think. And I think understanding that conviction at scale is what Sachin has done over the past 40 years. And that's why it's important. This insight is absolutely invaluable. Thank you, Sachin. Yeah, this was awesome, man. And see, these are the types of people in the community that are so important to have, like Sachin, that it's awesome. Chris Patel, renaming Finance Junkies to Truist Daily, baby. Truist! Did you see that, Truist? I know this is an emergency Palantir stream, but did you see that Truist, baby? Did you see that Truist? It was, it's doing well. It's doing well. Just saying, it's doing well. Doing all right. Sachin says, I believe if you are a sincere person and check your experiences, then 1 to 3 million is good enough money to retire. Highly subjective based on my review. That is fair. Amit, your answer needs to be, you must do what helps you sleep at night. If you ever emotional about long-term investment, you're doing around 100%. That's why I can't buy Bitcoin, because I can't sleep at night knowing I have Bitcoin in my portfolio, because I'm just not, like, I don't give a shit about Bitcoin. And so that's why I don't invest in Bitcoin. That's why. Kelly just texted me. She said, why are you like this? I don't know. Why am I like what? Why am I so philosophical? Because Daddy Carp told me in New Hampshire when I was getting coffee with him to embrace the philosophy of existence. And that's what we have to do. All right. Amit, what's your end of year price target on Palantir? I have no clue, man. If we could get to $15, I would be happy, which is my average. But we could blow past that, or we could be at $9. I have no clue. This is one of those things where I'm not a psychic on it. No one's a psychic. You could cover the stock. You're still not a psychic. You're enjoying the ride and understanding it. Now, if you ask me my short-term predictions, I do not think $12 will hold. I personally just don't see that happening. I think we go back to 9. Personally, that's what I think. Which means end of year, if we get to 15, that's why I said I'd be very happy. But I was wrong a week ago when we got to 10:30 on earnings. I was like, there's no way we're holding 10:30. I literally told Adam Bergman after the stream, I was like, bro, we're going back to 7. Maybe I was too high. I was like too high off the euphoria. I was like, this is not real. This is not happening. We're going back to 7. And lo and behold, we never went back to 7 at all. At all. Don't worry, Amit, we're here for you, David. I appreciate you. All right, so one quick thing I'm going to do for everybody. This will be kind of a cool experiment, and it'll be cool to kind of see it happen. Is I am going to send out my Palantir newsletter literally right now, all at once. It's gonna be pretty cool. So I had it loaded up, but I was like, it would be cool if we kind of do it on screen like this. I have to just send one screenshot. So I'm going to put the link in the description, in the chat. This is dailypalantir.com/subscribe. It is a newsletter I do. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers. We are at like 1977 or something. If you are a Palantir investor, you need to subscribe to this. It's 1 email a day, 5 minutes of headlines, and basically lets you know everything going on in the world of Palantir. Please subscribe to that right now. In like 5 minutes, I'm going to blast it out. And you're going to get your first Palantir email newsletter if you have never gotten a Palantir email newsletter before. So definitely check that out, and we will do that. Now, I want to go back to Twitter because there's probably some other stuff. Chris Patel, for those that don't know, is now in Palantir. Okay? Chris Patel is now in Palantir. So let's go to Chris's Twitter. Add to stream. Is this the right Twitter? Am I on the right Twitter? This is the right one, right? If I go home, does it go home? Okay, goes home. Okay, so we got Chris, right? Oh, there he is. Chris is right there. Chris got back into Palantir. Not a crazy position, but he did get back into Palantir. And he said this: Did I pick the right time to join the winning team or what? LOL. Wish I had the same number of shares I had last year, but still happy to see the market reacting positively. Now, one thing I can vouch for when it comes to Chris is that the money he took out of Palantir, he put into some other companies. I talked about it in the morning stream today. Those other companies have done much better than Palantir going from 7 to 11. So I don't think he's necessarily upset about that. But he did notice right before earnings that they were going to crush earnings, and then they ended up crushing earnings. He also said, seeing the price action of Palantir after reporting a second consecutive quarter of profitability leads me to believe that a very similar outcome for SoFi could be coming in the next few months. I agree. When SoFi becomes GAAP profitable, that sucker has a good shot to run just like Palantir. And the float, remember, is much lower on SoFi than it is on Palantir. So there's a good shot that could happen as well. What else do we have? I promise I won't call for Alex Karp to be replaced if they find me to Foundry. Bro, I emailed Lindsay, the media lady. I was like, yo, can I come to FoundryCon? And she didn't email me back. So I will see if that happens. There is no drama going on. I see you guys talking about drama in the chat. There is no drama. There is just, there is just different things happening in different people's lives. So I wouldn't say it's drama. I would just say it's different. Palantir, who's going to FOMO, retail, institutions, definitely institutions. And, well, probably should have said both. All right, let's respond to some comments, and this will be a fun segment. So let's go to my Twitter. Let's see something I tweeted, and let's see what people have said, and we'll respond live. Okay. Sweet. Here we go. This is off the Kathy tweet. Not shocking. Someone we're certainly buying today. When she stopped buying, the price will come back to earth. LOL, we will see. I want to see some funny tweets or some funny responses people say. How long until we get an Ark research paper on the convergence of ontological modeling and AI? That's a funny one. No wonder the pump. Talk about FOMO. It's kiss of death. Not enough to pump the stock this high. Who else was buying? Wonder if Jim Simmons. Oh, that's a good point. Renaissance Technologies must be stacking shares. So Renaissance Technologies might be doing a little bit. Jeremy makes a good point. He says, once Palantir gets closer to being the S&P 500, the index is going to have to buy shares, and it's going to add huge buying pressure to the stock. Yeah, I mean, maybe, and that it's a little early for that, but maybe that's why institutions are just like, fuck it, we'll buy it right now. We won't wait until, the inevitable has to happen. But granted, it's still so far out that I didn't think the institutions would be coming in, but they're coming in. I tweeted Palantir at 11.94. What were some of the responses? Oh, this is a good one. Someone said, feels a whole lot better than 2 weeks ago. My leaps are big, though. And this is my caption. I was like, here are your leaps. I just broke even on my 20 shares. This run would feel so much better had I not started buying back at 20. This guy's up 22K. That's awesome. That's great. People are up a lot of money. They've been texting me. They're doing well. Okay, let me talk a little bit about that video I made because I didn't get a chance to fully talk about it. I know Sachin was there. This kind of buying pressure, I will have Ray Dalio footprint somewhere. Yeah, I'd imagine. This is a lot. 15% in a day is not easy. Peter Thiel needs to go on a media tour to get this. Peter Thiel hasn't done media in years, so I don't think he's going to do it. When is Brett Wanton going to be laid off? So I did a video today. So I'll talk about the Kathy. I did 2 videos today, right? The Kathy video. Overall, if you guys go to her big ideas thing, the big ideas thing she published, whatever that's called, her whatever big ideas things that she talks about, her theories of ideas that are going to be big. AI to her is an $80 trillion market, right? And so when AI is an $80 trillion market, I think at some level they're asking themselves, what is the best AI play left in the market that they can really resonate with? And they're looking at their portfolio. We got Roku, Zoom, Coinbase. It's like none of these actually feel like they are solid AI plays. And so if you're going to say AI is the biggest thing in the world and AIP just came out, I think that's why Kathy's FOMOing back in. She's buying at 10, sold at 12 last year. I think the position is going to get close to 40, 50 million shares. It might be, one of the main tickers in this ETF. And if it grows the way they want it to grow, then it might help build the ETF to a better level. Blackstone might also be buying. That's also the case as well. So that would happen. Vincent, I'm happy for you, Mitt. Thank you for being here. I'm up 36% on show. That's awesome. 36%. That's amazing. Kelly says, I didn't watch the video. Should I? No, Kelly, you don't have to watch the video. There's no need for you to watch the video. In fact, I think if you stare at me talking, you might, let's just say you might, I'm not going to finish that sentence. But anyway, the point of the other video was the Palantir community video. Okay. Now, the Palantir community video was, I think, really important. I had 3 reasons. Okay. I recorded that video at 2 a.m. last night, believe it or not. And the reason I wanted to do that video is because I do think we are at a moment where like 475 of us are here right now and talking about Palantir. I don't think there's that many other stocks in the market that have that level of momentum, right? Yes, you've got Tesla, and that's great. But what's the other company? It's not NEO. It's not AMC. Even though AMC had some momentum, but then Trade said, I'm out of AMC, and that shit died, bro. If you were following AMC, Trades, he was the biggest YouTube account. He left like 3 months ago, and people were mad, bro. People were not happy. So, when the biggest guy leaves, because why would he stay? Because like it's AMC, right? Then the community dies. And I think one of the things we have about Palantir, this is why I'm saying it's so special. This is why I wanted to ask Sachin about it, is because there are not many moments in life where you get to cultivate around similar interests. Case in point, right? So me, Carlos Vitale, and Chris just started a Finance Junkies podcast. And the podcast, I think, is it's fun. People are enjoying it. More importantly, we like doing it every day. It's a big commitment, but we all enjoy doing it. Not as big for me, but they have kids and all that stuff, right? So it's a little bit harder for them. They told me, they're in their 40s. I'm 25. They couldn't imagine gaining a new friend, right? And Chris got 3 friends. I got 3 friends. Vitali got 3 friends. Carlos got 3 friends. You don't just get friends that easily. I mean, even at 25, it's hard for me to make friends, right? And even if I was in some corporate job at fucking Bank of America, those aren't your friends, bro. They're your coworkers. And like maybe you get close enough with one of them, but if you leave your job, if you don't keep in touch, they're not your friends, right? I think I have maybe 5 friends that I can really count on in my life. And so what I think the Palantir community is at this moment is the ability to cultivate friendship around a common interest. And that interest is not bullshit, right? So AMC, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's bullshit, right? GameStop, it's bullshit because it's purely momentum driven, Wall Street bets, money chasing greed. With Palantir, money is the motivator, but the company is what matters. People actually care about Western democracy. People care about Alex Karp. People care about businesses being more effective. People care about the implementation of ethical AI. And so with Tesla, there was this idea of like, renewable energy, climate change, and if not climate change, then just like EV vehicles. They had some overarching narrative guiding the trajectory of the company. And I think that's similar to Palantir. And that's why I think Palantir is so effective as a community. And you don't get those many often. You really don't get that. You don't get those things many often. You are very lucky if you truly have 5 friends. Yeah. I'll count them on one finger. It's not a lot. It is not a lot. And 2 of them are from high school, and they're some of my best boys, and we don't even talk all the time, but they're my best boys. Ken Bohorsky. Ken, this was the thumbnail. For those that don't know who Ken Bohorsky is, just type in his name on LinkedIn and just message him. Be like, hey, I want this thing that you sent to Amit, and you get a 10% discount code. No, we get a 20% discount code with code Amit. So be like, hit him up on LinkedIn. Just type in his name. I don't think anyone else has a name on the planet. Ken Bohorsky. It's on the screen. Be like, I want the same shit you sent to Amit. Give me a good deal because Amit mentioned it on the live stream, and Ken's going to make one for you. Ken, I'm telling you, man, you got to start that business. People will buy this shit. This shit is super dope. People will buy that shit. People will buy that shit. Should I expose the message Kelly just texted me right now? Kelly, should I say it? I'll only say it if you say I can say it. Because it's funny, but let me know. So Ken Bohorsky, hit him up on LinkedIn. I'm telling you guys, he'll send you one and he'll give you a good price. My price was $0, so it was a great price. So I think he'll give you a little bit of a decent price, but definitely hit him up, man. He's very talented at what he does and super awesome. Palantir copyright lawsuit coming, bro. If Palantir ever copyright lawsuits me, I will go in. I'll be like, do you know how much fucking free exposure I have given you, motherfuckers? Now, granted, when people say that, it's always a push and pull, right? Which goes back to my community argument. Like, I get something from covering Palantir. I get to build a brand as a creator. And this is one of the things I've learned as I've started a startup and as I've really gone deep into the ability to, I really just pulled a carp right there. Like I was watching him last night and he said 15 times before he got to the next point. And in between the ums were some ers and some uhs. And so I'm not going to lie. Okay. I'm not going to lie. It kind of turned me on. And so I kind of started emulating it a little bit. I'm not going to lie, bro. When he was doing it, I was just like, damn, that's kind of sexy. It's kind of dope. But nonetheless, so what was I even saying? I was saying that it's difficult to build a community. Where was I going with this? I have no idea where I was going this. Wow, that just, if I go to Palantir copyright lawsuit. Okay, yeah. So I'm building a brand, and I've learned as a creator, it's very hard to build a brand as a content creator. So if you can niche down your focus on one thing and build a brand from that, so then people care about other things you have to say, that is the only way to succeed in content, in my opinion. No one cares about what you have to say about the Federal Reserve if they don't care about you as a person. And to get them to care about you as a person, you can't talk about the Federal Reserve. You have to care about something they also care about, which might be Tesla, might be Palantir, might be Michael Jackson's music, might be whatever niche interest it is before they give a tiny sliver of a crap of your opinion about other stuff. And so that is the way content creation works. This is why Finance Junkies is very special, because people actually kind of just want to listen to us talk, which means the content's good, right? Which is special. But I'm getting something from Palantir because I get to cover the company, and I actually like covering the company. There are some people covering AMC and GameStop, and bro, they hate covering that shit, but they're doing it because it gets them views. And that's the situation you never want to be in, only doing something for the views. Because I think I can definitively say, after making 1,500 videos, I'm not doing this for the views. Like, yes, the views are good. The views are important. It's healthy to build the brand, but I'm doing it because I actually want to do it. And I see it as a stepping stone, and I see it as something where I can really build a community, and it's very hard to build communities and actually care about it. And so that's what inspires me to do it, not just the money of it. And so that's the beautiful thing about Palantir, right? They love you, Amit, confirmed with Palantir friends. That's so awesome. See, Sachin, I'm not as surprised as you say that. And that's not to be super braggadocious or anything, but there are people in the Palantir company that have left the company that have texted me all this stuff. They're like, yo, your videos are on the Slack channels. Yo, like they watch Palantir Weekly. Yo, they all know who you are. One of the Palantir, the head of AI of Palantir's like healthcare division, the former head of AI at the NHS who got lobbied to work with Palantir, she followed me today. And so I think they do know about me. They understand who I am. I think Carp has definitely seen or one of my videos or watched or read one of my articles. The question is when they're going to reach out, because they haven't reached out yet. And so when they reach out, that's going to be super cool. But so it's awesome, right? To actually have a company that's doing something real in the world, to know who you are as a content creator. It's not easy to do that, right? I don't have VC or private equity connections like Sachin, right? I don't have that kind of career behind me. I'm just a dude talking in front of the camera, and hopefully that resonates with people. And it's kind of crazy how this community is formed, because over a year and a half, like that's resonated with people. And that takes a little bit of knowledge of how to understand social media, but it's just amazing to have that community built. That's the cool thing. I'm 32 and I can't imagine new friends. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Kelly said I'm allowed to say, am I allowed to say the friend? Oh yeah. So Kelly's one of the 5 friends. Yes. So she was saying, am I one of the 5 friends? That was her text. Yes, Kelly, you're one of the 5 friends. You are one of the 5 friends. It's more like 7 or 8. It's not literally 5, but you get my point. It's a small circle. Chris, shit, I wonder if he saw the episode where I called Carp out. He definitely saw your ass telling him to get rid of the Carp guy and replace him with a true operator. He definitely saw that. And he probably hates you for that. But now that you're back in, probably doesn't care. Now, granted, look, Carp is a busy guy. I don't think he knows about that many individual creators. I think he's going to know about the ones that maybe stand. Look, here's my thing, okay? There's 4,300 employees at Palantir, okay? I was actually stalking a bunch of them on LinkedIn yesterday. Honestly, because I was trying to see if I could find my future wife at the company. Not going to lie. Because imagine if I married a girl who worked at Palantir, bro. Like, talk about irony. Like, that shit would be crazy. And there were actually some cute girls that work at Palantir. And guess what? They work in the content strategy department. I was like, goodness gracious, this is fucking insane. But the point is, I would imagine those 4,300 employees, a lot of them millennials, a lot of them younger, right? Fresh out of college, software engineers. You don't think they go on YouTube and they search up Palantir? Like if I worked at IBM, I would like search up IBM on the internet and just see what my company is about, especially if I have restricted stock options and like it's a growth company. Like I would imagine some of their employees that have options are watching the shit content we create and they're trying to get a better understanding of their own company, because your day-to-day job, you might not actually even know what the company does, bro. If you work in marketing, you might barely know like all the tech and all that shit. You just know like about marketing stuff. So you might want to get a deeper perspective, and maybe our content is what does that, you know? Maybe our content is what does that. So that is the cool thing. He sees how Chris wants to split the company and he laughs at it. It's not the worst idea, but I have never been on board with that idea. I was like, nope, that's not it. That's not it. Turner mentioned a name that I don't talk about in the chat, so I'm not even going to pull up that comment because I don't talk about that in the chat. So, Jay Duff, you have an interesting question. Not going to answer that one either, but nonetheless. All right, look, here's what we got. 30 minutes left. I'm going to put the StreamYard in the chat. If anyone wants to join. And you can ask a question about Palantir. You can talk about anything you want to talk about: life, business, startups, tech, Palantir. I'm sure a lot of you want to talk about Palantir. Let's see if anyone wants to come on. We have Finance Junkies in 35 minutes. Very excited for that. We are ending out the week of Thursday with 4 shows in a row. And each of those shows have hit 400 people every single night, which is just insane, bro. It's just insane. So this is my thing about community building, right? Me and Chris kind of started the Palantir Weekly podcast and cultivated this Palantir community because that podcast was the thing, like really building the momentum over the past year. And now, as a result of doing that, we got a little bit of attention on us. And then when we started Finance Junkies, people are actually tuning into that. That is the beauty of like, you know, using a company to build a personal brand and then being able to launch things off of that. It's no different than Leonardo DiCaprio doing I actually can't think of it. Titanic, and then eventually doing Wolf of Wall Street and all the other shit he did, right? Like Titanic was his stepping stone. That movie got 11 Oscars, by the way. That's fucking insane. And so it's just a stepping stone, in my opinion. And so it's the same thing with a company. And there's no other way to do it, in my opinion. Like you can't just get on the internet and start talking about everything generically, because there's not enough niche interest within the communities that you're talking about for them to care about genericism. They need to care about things that are highly targeted, which means you need to be passionate about those things that are highly targeted. And if you're not, those people are just not going to care. So that's the cool thing. That's the really cool. And then now Finance Junkies has 400 people coming, and it's just like, it's insane, bro. I mean, I've had people coming in my life before, but not 400 at the same time. Like that's fucking insane. So it's just, you know, the fact that that's happening is just, it's really incredible. And it's really special to do that. And this is what I think about some of the YouTubers in the community. All right. I'm going to talk my shit without talking specifics of my shit. I think a lot of people, they don't give a fuck about the community. They just care about clicks. I'll be very honest. Be very honest. I think a lot of people just give a fuck about short-term clicks. They don't want to talk about the company for months while it's underwater. And then they want to talk about the company when it's up on one of its best days. Here's my thing. People aren't stupid. You might get your views, but people will not respect you when you just jump back into something when you left ship when everything was bad. Like, you either go down with the ship or you know, and I'm not talking about trading. I'm not talking about investing. I'm talking about content, right? Because even when Chris sold out of Palantir, he still showed up on every Palantir Weekly because that was a community that he cultivated, whether or not you're in the stock or not. And so the people from a content perspective that have done that, to me, I just don't think they have longevity in the community. And I'm not saying they should be isolated from the community. I just personally think a lot of those people, they treat the audience like shit. They do not take their, like, I have spoken to 0 people before on a live stream. I know how it feels. Having 434 is way better than 0. And I will never take that for fucking, I think that's one of the one things that's made me who I am. It's hard to do it now, but I try to respond to every goddamn tweet and comment because I can't believe people had the necessity to engage with what I put out into the world, because it's so difficult because people are so busy because they have their attention everywhere. And so if people engage with you, you take that for granted. To me, that's just one of the worst things you can do as a content creator. I'm not talking about Arnie. I love Arnie. So I love Arnie. Arnie's great. So I'm not talking about Arnie. Arnie's the man. Arnie's awesome. Me and Arnie have had private conversation. Look, me and Arnie are some of the most active creators in the community with his new stack, and he's getting great on YouTube and his videos. So we've personally texted about what it feels like to risk our fucking reputation on this one stock, because that's what it is. Either we're right or we're wrong. If Palantir goes to shit, I was wrong for 2 years, and that sucks. So it was a risk. in me from a content perspective not being wrong, but I thought the risk was mitigated because I believed in Palantir. Nonetheless, it's still a risk. And so me and Arnie are kind of in the same boat from that perspective. So yeah, it's not that Arnie. All right, we got some people in the background. Showcat, I'm gonna get you after John because you joined first. John, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up?
Where are you calling
Can you
from?
hear me?
Yes,
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, so are you a Hornets fan?
No, I'm actually from Tampa originally. So
Okay.
yeah,
I love it.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think I've seen you in the comments, your name a while. You've been in the comments for a while, right?
Yeah. We actually talked a while ago on the phone. Well, I'm the guy who worked here for the Hungry Bowl. That's why.
We talked on the phone because
a while ago. Like I don't know. It was like
hold on. This is when you were trying to get more people to like write newsletters or something?
Yeah.
Ah, got you.
Yeah.
Correct. I thought you were white, to be honest. That's why I didn't recognize.
I am white.
Okay, you kind of look brown. Okay, got you.
Not the first person to say that. I think I was adopted low key, but we'll see.
I tell my sister that every day. I make fun of her for that. What's up? What's your question?
So my question, I just got back from the Tesla Investor Day a couple days ago, and I want to know, when is Palantir gonna do a Foundry Con that like regular shareholders can go to?
That's a good question. Look, FoundryCon is going to be June 1st. I asked media if I could get invited. They said no. Well, they didn't say no yet. They just haven't responded. I think this is where Palantir has failed. There's such a big retail community that they should reach out to the retail community and actually, get them to come to cover the company, especially when there's such a passionate fan base. But I don't know, man. I think they're going to need more momentum. They're still kind of secretive about all the shit they do, even though they post it online. So I don't know why it's so secretive.
I guess, yeah, true.
Yeah, the day they do it, I think a lot of people are going to show up, and it's going to be great for meeting people in real life, because all those Tesla people like Farzad and Meet Kevin and all, they get to meet up in person, which is awesome, right?
Yeah, I met Farzad, I met Kevin, which is good. I met a couple other like YouTubers that I follow, so it was a cool like environment, and I don't know, I feel like Palantir kind of has like the same kind of vibe to it. I feel like it would do really well. So
yeah, it would be super awesome, and eventually if they do that, that'd be great. But for now, they're lacking in that department, and hopefully they do it. It'd be super dope.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for keeping up with the channel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, see you.
Peace. All right, the OG, the guy who got married 3 months ago, Showcat. What's up, baby?
What's good? I feel like you've just been seeing my life over Instagram lately. I haven't been talking to you for a while.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're a busy man. You just got married.
I'm busy. Look at you.
I mean, you got married. I would say married is more busy.
Yeah, you're married to the content and the camera life now.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, no, life's good though. I've been being married. I'm going to another wedding this weekend, so it's just nonstop weddings lately.
So
my best friend's gonna propose in June, apparently. So
who's gonna propose in June?
My best friend.
Okay.
So it's just like wedding after wedding is coming. Like I might actually fly to Dallas in end of this year.
Interesting. Okay. And how long have you been married now? It's been a couple months.
Not even since March, so it's only been 2 months actually. I mean, we've been together for 3 years before that, right? But we just only, you know how it is. We got married for all the families to be like, oh wow, they're married now. But we've considered it to be together a lot longer.
That's crazy. And okay, so before you get to your question, what is like the biggest change you've noticed as like a married man, a single man?
I think the biggest thing is, before, when you're dating, like you have that distance. But now that we have to share the same space, you realize how different the way things are at home. Like I will say, me personally, I have a certain way of doing things. My wife always calls it out. So like I'll do something a certain way and she's like, oh, that's your system. And I'm like, my system? And then I've started picking up that, oh crap, this is an actual system that I have, because not like she doesn't do it that way, or someone else may not do it that way, and I look weird in comparison. So I think it's just being able to balance both of our different perspectives on things. Like that's probably the biggest change I've noticed.
I love that you called her my wife versus my girlfriend, bro. That's such a flex.
I've adjusted.
Yo, one time I took a girl to a restaurant and they were like seating us at a table, and I wanted to be like they were like table for two, and I wanted to be like, yeah, for me and my soulmate. I didn't say that shit because I was like,
She just walked out on the date. Like, okay, no, who is this guy?
It wasn't a first date, but like I
Yeah.
thought it would have been so cute because she would have started blushing so much. Because girls
Right.
love that shit, bro. They like when you call wifey and all, they love that shit.
Do they? I don't know. I think it depends on which girl. I've had a
Well,
lot of
if
people.
she's fucking with you, I think they would like that. It's
You
cute,
probably
man.
know. You probably have a good calculation of it.
Of
I
course.
miss some late night talks. Maybe one day you could talk more about it and give advice to people because I think a lot of people would be willing to hear
Yeah,
that or
late
be
night stock
interested in
talks has
that.
turned into finance junkies now. It's just so we haven't even done the Patreon, bro. It's just incredibly. It's difficult.
It's all good. It's all good. I've been able to see you in other ways, right? Like on other channels, and I'm just proud of you. I'll always be proud of you.
I love it, man. I appreciate it. What do you have a question? Anything specific?
I was trying to think of one. I realized, oh, I should probably ask a question. I kind of just came out. I'm like, oh, he gave me a chance to come in and say hi. You know, I just took that. But
you know, you
I
can
was
just text me. We have each other's numbers. We can like talk on the phone if you want to talk.
I forget. I don't know. I just like I feel like I talk to you through YouTube. That's kind of like the channel. But you're right. I do have that. But I feel like that's like it's like power. It's like Thor having the hammer. You don't want to abuse that power, right?
Okay, well, let me ask you one question. And no, it's not abusing the fucking power. Like you can text me. It's how do you feel about Palantir? Are you even yet? Or are you still in the red?
No, I'm still at like 19 average cost.
Okay.
$19. Because you know how it is. Like I was buying a lot, right, heavy in 2020 and 2021. But then later on I was kind of like, you know, at this point, like I understand that like if I put all my money in Palantir, maybe eventually it'll go up. Like there's always that there was that risk. And then I was like thinking like long term, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like in terms of individual stock investing and researching, like I kind of took a step back in that, and now I've just been doing a lot more just index ETFs, just passive income, without thinking about it. So I haven't really touched my Palantir position since then, but I have those old shares. I kind of just look at it more so I'm like, oh, that's what, you know, the pandemic really brought that, because that was probably one of the first stock that I bought when I first got into investing. So I kind of just set it there, set it, forget it, almost like a reminder. It's like at this point it's like a plaque for me.
Right.
I do understand, like I do work in tech as well, so I do see like the value in Palantir. So I definitely see them being a competitor to my company as well. So it's like kind of the reason why I got into in the first place, and that really hasn't changed for me. So I'm comfortable holding it, but at this point, for my investment philosophy, I'm okay with just sticking it into passive ETFs.
Yeah, playing it safe.
Adding that, dollar costs and just using my time horizon, right? Still relatively young, and hopefully will wish I live a long life.
With your wife now as well.
With my wife and start a family eventually. Get out of this basement apartment. I mean, it's a nice basement. I mean, I have a pool. I get to rent, right?
You have a fucking pool. There's nothing to complain about. You have a nice pool.
I'm trying to get him to give me let me use his hot tub too, but I don't think he only lets his girls use the hot tub. So I
don't think I've ever been at like a hot tub party ever.
Hot tub, really?
Or like with other people or girls. I've never done that in a hot tub. So
I only did it once. Like we have this here, like in Southern Ontario. This is called Blue Mountains, like a winter resort. Essentially, like in the wintertime, everyone goes there for skiing. So we got an Airbnb, and there was like a hot tub, and a group of us were just in the hot tub. It was pretty fun. But we got chemical burns after. We realized they put too many chemicals in it.
Yeah, that's usually what happens there.
Yeah, we'll talk more though. But I think I'll leave with one question, like Palantir question I had. So I feel like a lot of the news we've seen has still been around government contracts, or more just government contracts. Like, do you see their strategy needing to change on that? Because they did mention that they want to move into more of the corporate accounts, right? They want to go into those businesses as opposed to just focusing on government. Do you think they need to focus more on the pivot, or what would it take to go back to that? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to increase their business, right? And that's kind of the growth curve that we were kind of all hoping for in the beginning.
I think they've pivoted nicely to U.S. commercial. So they've done the pivot from gov. That's why Kathy sold. She thought there was too much gov, not enough commercial. They've pivoted that. The problem is international commercial sucks. And so I would like, as a shareholder, for them to figure out how to scale this product in Spain and Italy and Europe and all these different places there, and Asia, to be able to get the CAGR, which is like 10% right now in Europe, to match the 70% in the United States. Now it's never going to be 70, but if we can get there, that'd be awesome. The government revenue is great. It's sticky. It'll always be there, but they've got to scale this bad boy across thousands of clients like Snowflake does for this to be like a really, big company. And if they do that, then I think we're going to be good. But, eventually we'll see.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Thank you for being here. Text me anytime. We'll talk.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Take care.
Bye. All right. Ani, what's up, man?
Hey, why isn't my video not coming?
I don't know. Did you break the camera? Were you too ugly when you looked at it? What's going on?
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Did you? Is the camera button off? Did you press it?
Now it's off. And I turned it back on right now.
Are you on your phone or laptop?
I'm on my phone.
That's weird because you joined from your phone before, right? And it worked?
Yeah, it worked.
I don't know.
Or what? Let me drop off and I'll drop back.
Okay, you can drop it, come back on. Okay, let's get some of the comments. Someone said Romeo and Juliet started Leo DiCaprio. No. If anything, it was the Gilbert Grape thing. I definitely said the wrong. Don't kill me in the chat for that. I think it was Titanic that really started it. Amit, are you going to do the StreamYard in Finance Junkies? Yes, we will definitely. We also have a little bit of a special guest tonight on Finance Junkies. So he'll be joining for 20 minutes and talking to us. 20 more minutes till we do Finance Junkies. But yes, we will have. I think it was Titanic more that spearheaded him. So I think Titanic was the thing. Ani, what's up?
To the moon, baby!
How are you feeling today?
Amazing, man. Just seeing my profits, it's like amazing. How about
what's your average?
my average? Okay, so initially I bought probably like 500 stocks at $20.
Mhm.
So
10,000, right?
yeah, something like that. And I mean, like, I was following the company when it DPO'd. I wanted to build a big position, but I was like DCAing like 10 stocks, 20 stocks when it DPO'd. But when it was, when the whole meme rally caught on, I was like lashing myself, like, why didn't you like build up your full position? And the company is good because see, I'm a tech worker too, and I know it could replace people like me. So that's my main intention of like, hey, I should if this is going to disrupt something like the technology is what I use, or
Should invest in it.
maybe
Right.
I should invest in it. If I don't invest in it, then I'm risking it, right? Because
So
probably
what's your average right now overall for Palantir?
okay. So overall, right now my average is $7.30, I guess.
Holy crap! So
Close.
you averaged down a lot.
Yeah, I did. And
For those that don't know, you are 100% in Palantir.
yep. See, again, like when somebody says they are 100% in Palantir, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that their 100% of the portfolio is in Palantir. So this is my very first investment. This is the diamond from the rough, which I found out. I invested in it. I tracked it. I
This is
followed.
your first investment in the stock market ever.
I mean, like I used to invest in Indian stocks. I used to buy like 5 or 10 Apple stocks. They are not really any investment. They were just some, you're just putting money aside for a rainy day, right?
Yeah.
So what made me or you or somebody invest in something like Palantir? The only reason is because if you see Apple, half of the world knows what Apple does. If not, the whole world knows what Apple does. So it's valued fairly.
Right.
But you don't
People
know
don't
what
know what Palantir does.
until they gave you a clear view. People, even after telling what they did, people didn't know what they were doing. So you see, that's the thing. So once you keep studying, once you keep following, once you have uh, so basically my thesis with Palantir is a founder's thesis. Like you see great investors like Monish Pabrai, they keep saying that, hey, you should have an founder kind of mindset whenever you are investing certain kind of stocks. He also gives an example of Sam Walton and Walmart. So the whole Walmart family never sold any stock since the founding of Walmart, right?
Right.
So that's the same way. So how I feel is, if Alex Karp was Indian, that would have been me, because whatever goes on in my mind, the same thing comes out through his mouth. So I have that founder kind of investing strategy, because I felt like a product like this is a perfect fit in a world like this,
Yeah,
where everything is berserk. And
it's
I think
exciting.
that's also a portion of I think that's also a part of your thesis as well, right? To invest in Palantir or something like this.
I
So
want to invest in someone who has a vision, and when I hear Carp talk, that speaks to me. And I don't care if I have to wait 5-10 years. I want to see that vision kind of play out. It inspires me. It
yeah,
makes this more fun.
so all the risk what we took is believing in Carp and letting him execute. And a lot of people were saying, hey, Carp is not executing, the people are not executing. It takes time, man. Every company needs time. Companies like Apple and Tesla are also at some point they went bankrupt, right?
That's true.
So
It takes time.
com-
It takes time.
comparing to those, then Palantir has done much better, right?
Yeah. All right, Ani, we got someone else in the background. I want to ask you one question. Are you married? Do you have a significant other?
Not yet. I'm
Okay,
still
I was
young.
gonna ask, does she know you're 100% in Palantir? And I wanted to know what she
Yeah,
thinks.
I just want to give you the thesis on 100% on Palantir. Okay, see, when when you say 100% in Palantir, somebody thinks that I put all my eggs into the same basket. No, dude, I just have one egg. I put in I put that one egg in the basket, and I'm looking for the next egg, which I'm going to eventually get and put in the basket. Eventually,
Yo,
I'll
that's a
put 10
fire fucking. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. I took one egg. I put it in
in
one
the
basket.
So that's no harm.
Fire.
That doesn't mean all my money is in Palantir.
Right.
I have multifamily real estate and I have Palantir. So that's my whole portfolio. And when I find some other company which is like Palantir, I'll add it. That's my second egg. Something
Yeah.
like CI, which I'm seriously interested in looking in. I didn't. It ran away from me, but still, again, see, that's what happens, right?
There's the problem when we don't listen to Chris. Chris was telling me that shit at $70. I was like, what nonsense is he sending in the WhatsApp? And now,
yeah, but we don't want to FOMO in. We just want to
exactly. That's why I haven't bought in. Yeah.
we just want to wait for it to fall and accumulate eventually. That's how it works, man.
All right, Ani. Thank you for being on again. Appreciate it. We'll see you on Finance Junkies a little bit later.
Yep. When Lambo.
Right. When Lambo. I love it. All right. Next person backstage. This is the man, the myth, the legend. I cannot believe this guy joined live. He looks different than what I perceived him to look like. He has a goatee and a beard. I didn't know he had one of those. I thought it was kind of clean shaven or whatever. But I love it because I got the beard. The guy who sent me this thing right here, and we got the nice little to emit your fan, Ken Bohorsky. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Ken.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, I could definitely tell you. It's usually clean shaven, but sometimes you just gotta let it go.
You gotta let the goatee grow. I love it. Can you tell people where you're calling from and why you sent me this Palantir thing?
Well, I've been following you for quite some time. Didn't subscribe for a while. I just kind of was watching you in the early stages, really. And I found Palantir actually from Chris Green. He mentioned Palantir like way before anyone ever mentioned it. So at that point, I started following it. Really kind of caught my interest. And then all of a sudden I started researching it and I came across you. And at that point, it's like, hey, I've told you multiple times, I love your content. I like how you display it. You're enthusiastic about it. And at one point I started subscribing and I was like, hey, put the bell on and watch you. And at that point, it was
open, yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, I ended up sending that to you because it was like, hey, that if you're a fan and you're able to do something, not everyone can do things, and I wanted to do something nice. And it was actually, you ever believe in the karma thing?
Yeah.
Where I'm a big believer in karma. Where you do something nice, you think about someone else and put yourself last. And that's exactly why I sent it. It was right near, I think, right after Christmas is right when I sent it to you.
Yeah, and you sent, so to remind the audience, you sent two of them. So you let me give one away to a fan, which was awesome. and you handmade this in your shop, custom made, which
Yeah.
is like, I'm so happy you joined, man, because for someone to have a labor of love to do that over someone on the internet, like, it really matters. And that's my point about this community thing. It's like, to have a community where, like, if one day I come to your hometown and I see you and we grab a beer and like we connected over the internet over Palantir, like, that's really special. That doesn't happen many times in life.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't even know how to contact you, and I was like, man, you know, I didn't want to just put something on the internet and on a comment. You know, I thought that it would be just a little bit cliche, or kind of like, is this guy serious? So that's why I looked at you on LinkedIn. I use it a lot for my business. I don't own the business. I actually talked to the owner and said, hey, I want to do this. He's like, and I do product development, so I get a lot of like free play. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And it's so funny when you were pronouncing my name, you're like, ball whore, you know? And I was like, oh my God, he did that off the
bro, because we got to make this shit fun. We got to make fun.
Yeah. I was laughing the whole time, man. But like I said, man, I'm a big fan. I try and watch your videos all the time. You know,
when do you usually consume YouTube? Is it kind of like at the night, in the morning? When do you get a chance to actually turn on YouTube?
Oh, man, I'm a YouTube junkie. I watch it in the morning before I go into work. I watch it, or I put it on my Uconnect when I'm driving. Lunchtime, I'm always watching. I'm looking for your videos. And then when I get home, I mean, I'm a big time, like, obsessed investor, you know. Right. And I got into SoFi. I think I made a comment like, hey, I took profit off of that. And,
I love it.
And I doubled in. Man, that Kramer guy, I bought 500 shares right after he did what he did. And we all know what he did.
We all know.
I ended up buying 500 shares after that. And I'm so glad I did. I'm about 5,000 shareholder. And I believe in this. And
Are you break even yet on Palantir? Or are you?
I'm well beyond that.
So when did you start buying? Were you averaging down, or did you start buying in the 7 and 8s?
I had bought at like a little over $12, and then as it went down, hey, when blood is in the streets, and you got to take this for what Warren Buffett says, when there's blood in the streets, you need to be convicted. Yeah. And this AI thing, I knew right off the bat, it's like, this is going to be big. And at that point, you're either convicted with your decision and you got to just bite the bullet and keep on going, or you just lay back and just, you know, hey, I don't believe in, just let it ride, or you sell out. And me, I'm kind of like, hey, the Warren Buffett statement, I believe in it. And I kept on buying. I bought from 12 all the way down to the 5s. So I'm actually like 13 grand, more than 13 grand up.
That's phenomenal, man. That's fun. And you doubled down when the price was at the right time to double down, and that's amazing. Yeah. I'm happy for you.
I will say this: I don't recommend it for very many people, but I actually took some money out of my 401k just to do that. And then I cashed out some, just a tiny bit to just pay that totally off. And then it was like, hey, this is good. I don't recommend it for most. I throw in a lot of money into my investments and throw a lot into my 401k where it was like, hey, I can do this.
You can afford to do it, right?
Yeah. Just be smart with your money. The only reason I came on here was just to be like, hey, I appreciate all your content. I think you're a great guy. I love how you're honest. You'll give the bad, you'll give the good, and you don't bring some hopium stuff to the mix. So yeah. I know that you got a whole bunch of content to go with, but I want to end with that. I really, I mean it when I'm a fan. Okay,
means a lot, Ken. Means a lot, man.
Well, hey, you take it easy, and if I ever make it down there, I'm gonna hit you up on LinkedIn, and we're gonna have a beer, right?
We will.
I don't drink beer. I might actually. I'm a wine guy.
Oh, I love it. I don't drink beer either. I could have a glass of wine. And Ken, I mean, there's demand for this. If you ever want to start a little side hustle.
My LinkedIn is going nuts.
People are messaging just now?
Oh yeah.
Really? And, wow. There we go. The promotion game work. I love it. There you go. That's great.
I will say this really quick. I've had so many people ask for it, but the thing is that the copyright thing has me a little bit
Correct.
weirded out, you
Correct.
know.
Correct.
So it's like I got to figure out how to get through that, you know.
Granted, I don't
Alex
think a $20
Karp
billion
seems-
company is going to sue you, but it is always a
Yeah.
risk, right?
Alex Karp seems like a really cool guy. Maybe he might be the entrepreneurial
I think
type.
Carp would
like
let it
the-
slide a little bit.
Yeah,
a
I
little
think
bit.
so too. Outside of that, man, you take it easy and God bless. Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Means the world. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. All right, we got 5 minutes left in the stream. Then we got Finance Junkies. All 395 of you got to translate to Finance Junkies. If we could have 395 people on Finance Junkies at 10 p.m., that'll be fucking crazy. But before we do that, we've got a guy in the comments. I've seen his name all the time. Mr. Eeyore was right. Finally awesome to talk to you in person. What's up, bro?
Hey, brother, what's going on?
What's going on? Where are you calling from?
Long Island.
Oh, New York. You're in
Yeah,
New
man.
York, okay?
So
Long
just
Island.
across the river.
Just across the river.
Yeah. I found you through that old ass show that you did with Justin O.
Money Talks. You found me through Money Talks.
Money Talks. So it's been a while. We've been suffering with Palantir for a long time. So
Are you green yet or still red?
No. I'm I'm down about 26%. So I'm feeling optimistic.
Wait, so what's your average?
1560s.
Oh, that's my average too. I'm in 1530. So or
Right on.
Okay. All right.
But I know you're gonna jump to FJ real quick, so I'm gonna squeeze you for 2 questions.
Okay.
One, I've been wondering about Palantir keeps their tech like on the front lines, like with Ukraine and stuff. If say Ukraine were to fall, do you know of any like sort of contingency plan in place to make sure that Palantir's tech doesn't really fall into the wrong hands?
No, I mean, look, if Ukraine falls, I don't think Palantir's tech necessarily falls into the wrong hands, unless Russia comes in and invades their technical operations and takes that shit, which maybe it could, which wouldn't be the best. I think at that point, Palantir has full control, though, to just like shut it down, right? They have switches in their back end where they can turn that stuff off. So that's not the biggest concern. The bigger concern would be if Ukraine actually falls and Palantir software doesn't work. From all signs I've seen is working. I think ultimately it's not going to be a winner or loser, as Trump did say. There's going to have to be some negotiation to get the job done. But the fact that Ukraine's not obliterated off of the face of the earth, I think, is credit to Palantir, which is the good part.
Right on. Yeah, and then the second question was like Karp talking about pulling attention away from international growth. Wondering if that was sort of like a hint at maybe the NHS deal isn't really going like how we planned.
Well, I believe Karp is talking about international commercial, maybe a little bit of government there, but look, it's really hard to get a company in Rome or Denmark, even though Palantir has a great relationship in Denmark, to immediately adopt AIP. Whereas in the United States, a lot of these enterprises, from what I've seen Karp talk about, he's like, they're more adaptive. They want to adapt the shit and they want to try the shit because they are actually embracing of AI. I think international CAGR being 10% is really bad. It's the worst metric I got from earnings. But David Glacier, the CFO, even the way he was talking, he was answering an analyst. He was like, look, U.S. commercial is what's going to get us to GAAP profitability. He was like it's binary. We will get GAAP profitable because of U.S. commercial. So they feel so confident that their commercial product can scale. The question becomes, what do they need to do to have that not even go 20% international growth, but like 15% to just bring in a little bit more additional revenue. And I think if they can figure that out, that would be a good thing, but it might be more of a cultural issue. The NHS thing is happening. That is happening. We are getting that deal. The NHS is a government thing that has nothing to do with international commercial. The NHS has already told hospitals to start porting their data into Palantir's software. I would be very surprised. I think the other biggest thing for why it's happening is because Palantir didn't do the debate. I mean, like, I'm sure someone from the NHS called them up and they're like, don't do this fucking spectacle of a debate and make yourself look bad in front of 70 million people in the UK. We're going to use your shit. Just stay down, chill. You guys got the contract, relax. Because they were ready to debate for it. I mean, this is a company that sued the US government to meritocratically procure software. You don't think they're going to get public with the NHS about the billions of dollars they're wasting and how they should be using Palantir? So I think we'll get that deal. If we don't, that would be pretty bad, but I think we'll get it. And then it's just a question of how much we can grow from international commercial.
Word up. Well, I appreciate you taking me. I'll let you go.
All right. I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you keeping up with the content. It means a lot. I'll talk to you later.
Got it. Later.
Peace. All right, everyone. That concludes the emergency shareholder meeting for Palantir being up at 52-week highs. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for about 600 people being here, 377. Now, here's what we got to do. If you've never checked out the Finance Junkies podcast, it's starting in 1 minute. All you have to do as soon as the stream ends is refresh my channel, and there will be a new stream. And that channel will have more personalities. It'll have some fun. We have a special guest coming. So check that stream out. I think it'll be fun for first-time people of that podcast. Hopefully you will enjoy it. We go live 5 times a week at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I think it'll be fun. Congratulations to all Palantir shareholders. This was awesome. Twitter at @MidIsInvesting. You can follow all the updates for Palantir. I'm so proud of this community, so happy for this community, and so happy to be a part of someone cultivating some good content, hopefully in the community, and want to just see the community continue to grow. So the fact that we had 600 people here live tonight on a Thursday is just absolutely amazing. While the fucking Lakers game is going on, it's just crazy, the power of this community and all the smart minds we have. Thank you so much. Finance Junkies starting right now.